Let's see if we can get a little higher. Just move another one of these, maybe. Hold on, give me a second. This looks a little short. Is there another one to open? I think so. There we go. How's that? That's a little bit better. Good morning. Welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 1011. Yes, this is episode 1011 or 1011. If you're joining me live, please say hello. We are live in my workspace this morning. I wanted to go over what colors of yarn are left and let you know what sort of things are left and maybe help you to figure out colors and things like that, because I know that once the palette is more limited, it probably gets a little intimidating. So we can talk about colors that are left and things that we could do with the different colors that are left. Also remind you of some of the other wonderful things that are still in stock that you may have forgotten about. And also let you know that I'm going to be listing a whole bunch of samples later today, and we can go over some of those. It's going to be the biggest sample sale I've ever done, and those should be live later today, at least by tomorrow morning, let's say for sure. So I'll send out an email when they're ready. What else are we going to talk about today? Oh, we have a new pattern and a new video tutorial that's going to live premiere today after the show, and that is for the Heartthrob knit shawl pattern. This is done in Be So Vivid yarn, so if you already have some Be So Vivid yarn, you only need 3 balls to make this shawl. The beginning of the shawl is super duper beginner easy. It's top down construction in garter stitch, which means knit every row. And then I have an extraordinary edging to show you. This edging is so incredibly beautiful and unique. And if you follow my step-by-step photo tutorial on the pattern and also follow the step-by-step video tutorial, you can definitely learn how to make this amazing edging. And if the edging is intimidating for you, do something simpler. This shawl itself is a super duper beginner easy shawl, and so if you would like to do that and do a super simple edging or just bind off, you could do that as well. So there are still lots of options even with this shawl pattern. And so there is a free pattern page. There is the ad-free PDF download that is $1.99, and like I reminded everybody yesterday, come March 1st, pattern prices will be going up from $1.99 to $3.99. So if you want to take advantage of the last week or so of the $1.99 pricing, it is an incredible deal. But the at $3.99, my patterns are still priced very valuably, and they'll still come with all of the other benefits of downloading patterns on my website, including your personal download library with 24/7 access, plus unlimited downloads and all the other benefits of being on my website. Does anybody have any questions about that? This was color Heartthrob also. Thank you, Jackie. But you could do it in any color, and anybody who's interested in doing this without doing Be So Vivid yarn, again, it's a top-down construction. You could easily modify this pattern to work it in any weight yarn. You would want to use an appropriately sized set of knitting needles for whichever size yarn you're using, and the pattern tells you how to work the increased stitches so that you could add more or less if you want, and the pattern even tells you what multiple you need for starting the edging. So if you wanted to start the edging here, oh, excuse me. I thought I was gonna sneeze. I guess I'm not. We have so much pollen here right now. I've been sneezing for days. Anyway, so if you wanted to make this smaller, less rows with a thicker yarn, more rows with a thinner yarn, or just make it a different size altogether, the pattern tells you what multiple you need for the edging. So lots of ways to manipulate this pattern to do other things. If you wanted to, you could figure out, you could use that edging on something else. Imagine putting that edging on a baby blanket. So this is a top-down triangle. What if you did a square from the center out and then put that edging on it? That would be beautiful too. Or it could be a beautiful edging on a rectangular shawl. It could be a beautiful edging on a blanket, a scarf, whatever. There's so many different ways that you can take components of any pattern and apply it to something else. Just like I said that if you were intimidated by that edging, you could still do the top-down triangular shawl, which is super, super easy to do, and just do a different edging on it if you wanted as well. Yes, I have already answered that question, but I am happy to answer again. This is Be So Vivid yarn in color Heartthrob, and if you just follow the links provided to the pattern pages, everything is listed there as well. Be So Vivid is number 4 worsted weight, but like I said, it's a top-down construction, so if you wanted to do it in a different weight yarn, you could absolutely do that as well. All right, does anybody have any questions about that? Hi, Marilee. Hi, Emmy. Yes, Lori, absolutely, it is manageable. Like I said, I did a photo tutorial as well. Let's see if I can pull it up. I've got my computer here. It's so fun to me when I get to do this because when I'm at the beach, I don't have access to other things to be able to show you other things like that. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so here on the pattern, there is a photo tutorial also so that you can see. You don't need to see it up close here. You just need to know that it exists. So there's a photo tutorial that corresponds with, like, it'll say photo 1 in the description and then refer to the first photo. So there's 6 photos in the step-by-step photo tutorial, which line up perfectly from the video tutorial. So even in the video tutorial, I set the work down at each of those steps. So really easy to follow along between the pattern and the video and the photos, which, like I've always said, that's the whole reason why I do videos, is to supplement everything else so that all together combined, it's really, really useful information. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? I see a lot of side conversation going on, which is fine, but it makes it harder for me to find actual questions. Hi, Sandra. Thank you, Marcia. This dress is in my Amazon shop. It's one of those tank top dresses that I absolutely love. Back up so you can see how long it is. I think they are so easy to wear. They're easy to wear on their own. They're easy to wear with a jacket or a cardigan or a jean jacket or jean vest. I love wearing them. And you know I love animal print. The dress is no longer available. Bummer. All right, that tells you how long I keep stuff. Once I like something, I wear it a long time. All right, well, we'll have to find something comparable then. Yep, the yarn is going down for sure, and I wanted to go over what kind of colors are left to let you know. So we could start with Be So Baby. We have Be So Baby, Be So Easy, Be So Scrubby, and Be So Lux left. Those are the 4 yarns that are left. I also have all 5 of the drawstring bags still in stock. I still have some Be So Clean soap in stock, and I still have lots and lots of accessories and beads. I have a lot, so all kinds of stuff like this, the stitch markers. I also have a lot of Be So Bare still in stock, the cotton one. This is 100% organic cotton. I will be doing some dyeing videos with it in the next week or so, but even if you don't want to dye it, it's still undyed organic cotton, and honestly, it's amazing just in that state. One of the things that I want to show you also when we get around to talking about dyeing is I will show you how to dye yarn, but I feel like from a consumer level, I don't think that that's nearly as interesting as knitting or crocheting pieces and dyeing those. I have way more interest in doing that, so I'm going to show you not only how to dye the yarn, but I think that it'll be really fun to show you how to dye your finished pieces. One of the things that I want to show is how to dip dye. Like I have a Ruana made out of the organic cotton. I think it was in Layers Crochet Book maybe. And although I like it in the undyed natural color, I think it's going to be super fun to show you how to take a piece and just get dye on the beginning of it and watch it travel up the garment from each side. So I think dip dyeing is going to be really interesting. And it's all the same technique, or it's all the same laws, rules, or whatever. Yes, cellulose-based fibers are different for dyeing than animal-based. Yes, so animal yarn and plant-based yarn have some different rules. Some things are the same, but some things are different. And I'm still working on writing up all of the information that I want to share. So it'll be a blog post, possibly a download too, but it's a lot of information. And so it's just because I'm trying to incorporate so much into it, it's just, I feel like I don't want to miss anything, so that's why it's taking me a little longer to start the videos, because no one's going to want the videos without some sort of information to go along with it, and it's taking me a while to get all my thoughts down on paper and share enough of my tips through my experience to make it worthwhile. So I know some people have been waiting for these videos, and it's not that I'm dragging my feet, I've been juggling a lot and trying to make sure that I do it justice before I do it, because if you just want to learn how to dye yarn, there's plenty of videos out there, but if you're waiting to hear about it from me, I want to make sure that I share enough of my own personal knowledge to make it worthwhile. Yes, exactly, Lori. Okay, so what do you want me yeah, I have tons of Ruana patterns, knit and crocheted, on my website. You can search that term. You can definitely search that term on my website. There's a ton of them. It's a sample, it's a style that I love to make. So I've done a bunch of them. Okay. All right, so do you guys want to look at yarn colors? Do you want to look at samples? Do you want to look at everything? There's no short answer for that, Jacqueline. Can you convert knitting patterns to crochet and crochet to knitting? The short answer is yes, you can make a similar silhouette in any technique, right? But if you're looking to make something identical, you're talking about two different crafts with two different techniques and two different ways of manipulating yarn. So are they ever going to be completely identical? No, of course not, because they're not the same techniques. However, can you get a similar look? Definitely, you can definitely do that. Okay, so I guess we'll start with Be So Baby yarn, and let me make some room. Here's all the sample garments that we're gonna list later today. That's a lot, and there's 4 more bins out in the hallway of things that I'm going to probably consider. All right, so we'll start with the top row here, and then you can get a good idea that how much is left too. So here's Be So Baby in Tropical Coral. Great bright pinky red orange kind of color, and here is Be So Baby in Sugar Plum. Beautiful, beautiful violet purple. And so if you're looking for enough yarn to make a garment or an afghan or a bigger shawl, as you can see, there's quite a few balls left. Here's Spring Green. Beautiful, bright neon green. All right, I'm going to do these in batches maybe. Okay, so then here's an interesting color. I've been meaning to remind people about this for a while now. Birthday cake. If there are any Lily Pulitzer fans out there who would like to make a cardigan, a scarf, a shawl, or even a bag to go along with some Lily Pulitzer items in your closet maybe, this definitely has that kind of vibe. It's called Birthday Cake, and it definitely has like baby colors if you wanted to use it for a baby afghan or a baby layette, but I think that if you're looking to do it for adult garments as well, definitely has a Lily Pulitzer vibe too, which is great for spring. Then And let's see, how many? We have 3 variegateds left, I think. So here is Sweet Dreams, which has a lot of white and a little bit of periwinkle and salmon. Super pretty, great for baby stuff. All right, it looks like there's 1 ball of peach left. Quite a bit of marigold. Marigold is a beautiful golden yellow. And here is some chocolate brown. Got quite a bit of chocolate brown too. So another thing that I wanted to mention is if you're looking to make something bigger and maybe some of your favorite colors aren't still here, there's a lot of neutrals, like a lot of greens and the brown. And I was thinking, if I were going to try to make that work with maybe some onesie twosie bright colors, think of it like we've talked about in the past about how Mother Nature's Mother Nature's base colors are the leaves. So you could make a beautiful flower garden Afghan by using different bright colored flowers in the centers and then combining it all together by doing the outer rounds of your motifs and the joining in one of the greens. And I'll show you those in a minute. So here's, got quite a bit left of jade green and quite a bit left of Dijon. Beautiful colors. And then here's what I was talking about. Here is grass green and here is olive green. Either one of these would be really great as the base to do a flower garden Afghan if you used, or a dress or a cardigan or a shawl. You could use one of these greens as a Mother Nature base color and then add your pops of colors around it. Couple more. Here's tangerine and mint. These are the colors that are still available right now. All right, and here's another example of what I'm talking about. I still have quite a bit of emerald green left. It's a beautiful color on its own if you're into greens, and it would be an amazing background color for doing mixing and matching colors with bright colors to make it look more floral gardeny. Okay. All right, a few more colors here. We've got Tutu, a very pale pastel peach, much lighter than actual peach. And this is Clover. I love that emerald green too, Joe. And here is lime green and sunshine yellow. And one more variegated and one more solid. Under the Sea has lots of blues and greens. It's so pretty. And then watermelon, really bright raspberry pink, so beautiful. All right, that's all of the colors left in Be So Baby yarn. If anyone has any questions about that, let me know. Also, I've got a bunch of these left, which are the zipper bags, these are the double pouch. These are the double pouch zipper bags. There is a smaller size too. I'll show those to you side by side. Both of these are still in stock and still available. My goodness, they're amazing bags these are amazing for organizing your crafts. They're amazing for project bags. They'd be amazing for travel or staying organized in any other rooms in your house. Just wow. God willing, I get my RV, I will be needing some of those to stay organized too, because I'm definitely having to reduce the amount of stuff that I can take. So I'm going to be doing a lot of organizing, which I also think will be interesting, which which I think will also be interesting for tutorial videos for anybody, because isn't everybody trying to organize their lives, whether you have tiny spaces or not? I think it's still interesting. I wanted to show you all 5 of the bags. There's still all 5 here. I will show you which one I have limited quantities of. So if you're looking to get all 5 collection, I'll let you know which one has the least amount of inventory, which I think it was always my favorite. Okay, so here's Embrace the Magic in You, and it has flowers and dragonflies on it. Then here is Create Like No One Is Watching with butterflies. This is The Future of Handmade is in Our Hands with like a succulent flower vibe. And then A Handmade Gift is the gift that keeps on giving in plaid. And then So Many Projects, So Little Time in the fern print. I designed all of these prints as well as came up with all of the sayings, and they work together as a set. You could give them as a gift as a set. Keep in mind that you could use these as reusable gift bags too. They're not, I made sure that the quotes were not centered on just knitting and crochet. So if you have other types of gift recipients, you could stock up on these for gift bags instead of going to Hallmark or the store where you buy your cards and just get a paper gift bag that just gets recycled or put in the garbage. You could give someone a bag for their gift bag, and then it's something that they can reuse as well. They have the handles on it like a tote bag, and they double as a drawstring bag as well. So great for project bags. And I said I would mention which one I had the lowest inventory on. Like, the inventory's correct. The prices are all listed on my website. You'll just have to check the links. This one is the one I have the least amount of quantity of. So Many Projects, So Little Time on the ferns. I believe there's only 5 bags left, somewhere in that range. The rest of them, I probably have a couple of dozen bags left, so you could stock up on all of that. And don't forget, there are bulk discounts available for any of the products. So, and it's listed on the product pages, so you get some super amazing discounts when you buy in bulk. And then that usually reaches the price point for getting free shipping as well. All right, let's talk about if anybody has any questions about Be So Baby or those colors, let me know. Otherwise, I will move on to showing you the colors left in Be So Lux yarn. Okay, I don't see any other questions about that. So here we have Sunshine. This is Be So Lux, number 2, sport weight, 70% bamboo, 30% cotton. Really, really beautiful, soft, lovely, lovely yarn. I love this stuff. This is Sunshine State of Mind. This is Succulent Garden. Oh, and I had a thought about this. If only there was more hours in the day. Is anybody a fan of Gone with the Wind? Do you remember the dress that Scarlett makes out of the curtains? I feel like you could get that vibe from this. Don't you see that? Does anybody remember the dress in the movie? I love the movie Gone with the Wind, and that dress that she makes, I feel like if I had the time and I wasn't trying to liquidate, I would be making a dress in this color. So just wanted to point that out. Like, it's tempting, but at the same time, I need to pass it on to everybody else. So just keep in mind that that might be an amazing color for a dress, even for the new dress pattern that is coming. You could do it in that color because there's still quite a bit left. Then the next color here is Mango Tango and Matcha Latte. I think this color would be really great for a beach cover-up too. Actually, Electric Lizard also. I'll show you that in a minute. That's Matcha Latte. Paint the Town Red. Oh yeah, Carol Burnett did the dress too, yes. Paint the Town Red, which is like a true classic red. I'll talk about reds here in a minute because there's a couple of them. And then Here's Electric Lizard. I think this would make an amazing beach cover up too. I love this color. So bright and cheerful. And then we have Enchanted Forest, which is a deep forest green. Very, very pretty as well. And then we have 4-leaf clover. And keep in mind, the things that I talked about, this is 4-leaf clover, the things that I talked about with Be So Baby would also apply for Be So Lux yarn. Think about using the greens as your base color and then pops of color to do a floral garden themed motif project, whether it's an afghan, a shawl, a cardigan, a pullover, a scarf, lots of ways you could do that. So if you wanted to be inspired by Mother Nature's base palette, think about the greens as your background to florals. This is Treasure Island. This is Yellow Brick Road. And this is You're My Lobster. Okay, so I promised that I would go over the difference between the reds. So as you can see here, Paint the Town Red is much more of a true red, and You're My Lobster is more of a muted orange red. Both beautiful, but I know everybody has their own aesthetic and their own point of view when it comes to reds. Reds can be tricky sometimes, and so generally, I wanted to make sure that I describe the difference between the two of them, because I know some people will prefer one or the other. I personally like both. I have started, I don't know if I'll get it finished as long as there's enough yarn. I started a summery tank top in You're My Lobster before the yarn even came out. The pattern didn't get finished yet, but maybe it will. Yeah, there's a lot of great colors for spring and summer in here. A lot. And yeah, a lot. Okay, so that's what's left in Be So Lux. Do you have any questions about that? I'll pause for a minute, and if nobody does, then we'll move on to Be So Easy yarn as well. Yes, a red shawl or a red dress. Unbelievable. Yes. In fact, there's a scene in the last scene in Charlie's Angels, the movie 1, where Cameron Diaz goes to the movie premiere of Lucy Liu's boyfriend, who's played by Joey from Friends, and she wears a black strapless dress with a red shawl that is just square motifs, and it has fringe on the bottom. Oh my gosh. Yes, please. I would love a red lace shawl to wear over a strapless black dress. Thank you very much. Okay, I do not see any questions about those colors, so we'll move on to what's left in Be So Easy yarn. Whoa! Oh, I wanted to point out that I have a bunch of these gauge rulers left too, and these are a great tool to have for customizing. Thanks, Sylvia, but it's got to get done. So I'm really happy that it's going to such great homes, and that I'm going to be able to continue writing patterns and give you lots of things to do with the yarn that you're getting. And I have tons of patterns available now. So lots and lots of pattern and video support. So you can customize this to any size you want for measuring your gauge swatch. Let's say your pattern says you need to know what the size, how many stitches for 4 inches. Well, then you would move these down to 4 inches each. So you would get the square to 4 inches, and then you'd place your fabric underneath it and count how many stitches were up and down. Let's say the pattern says 3 inches. You could adjust these to be a 3-inch square, a 2-inch square, a 1-inch square. And then when you're not doing your gauge blocking like that, you still have all of the other pieces for measuring anything. So you've got, what is this like? It's a 10-inch, so you have up to a 10-inch square here, which means you have 4 sides that you can just count on 10 anyway, or 2 of them. So in its largest state, it goes this big. So it's still 4 inches on these 2 sides, but then it goes up to 10 inch on these 2 sides. these two sides. Sorry, trying to read and talk. So you can adjust it for whatever you want to measure, but if you're looking to do that traditional 4-inch gauge swatch, you would slide these over to 4 inches. Much easier to do on a table than in your lap or on your hands like this. But I wanted to show you so you could get that 4-inch square and very easily be able to measure. It would be a great gift for another craft or two. I've got a bunch of them left and they are on sale. Plus they're available for bulk discounts and all of the other promotions. So I just wanted to show you that it's not only a great tool, but a great gift to give another craft or two, since it's an unusual gift and a useful gift. Okay, rose variegated. I love this color. I love this color. I always said I was going to do a hoodie in it, but I never did. So there's that. But you could still do a hoodie in it. You could do the Elsa tunic in it. Remember the Elsa tunic that I did in lavender? Be beautiful in that color too. Here's cyan, another super beautiful color. And here's pine green. I started a knit poncho in this. I didn't finish that yet, hopefully. And then here's cornflower and sea green. Sea green is the color I did the Bailey pocket scarf with hood. All right, here is pink variegated, so pretty, and blue variegated, so pretty. You know what this one reminds me of? It reminds me of Greek tile work. You know when you see those white tiles that have patterns drawn in like a bright blue? That's what that reminds me of. All right, and then we have and then we have Be So Scrubby yarn. Got a bunch of this left, and Be So Bare cotton, which is organic cotton, #2 sport weight yarn. Absolutely soft and beautiful, gorgeous stuff. So whether you're going to use it in its natural state, what's prettier than natural undyed organic cotton? Not much. It's beautiful to just use on its own and very well priced. Plus it has bulk discounts as well. Or if you want to dye it, it's undyed as well. And I have some colors of these dye packs in stock if you want to experiment with dyeing it on your own. Like I said, I will be sharing some information on how to dye yarn, but it is all in existence out there, whether you want to dye with Kool-Aid, with veggie scraps, with regular dyes. There's a lot of ways to do it, and there's a lot of information out there. Will I no longer be showing finished projects from my patterns as you will have no more yarn? I'm not sure what you're actually asking, Wendy, but as I make patterns, I have to make samples for photos and for showing, so I will always have a sample to show for a finished product. Now, for a pattern. Now, when I design exclusive designs for a magazine or a yarn company, if I end up going that route, oftentimes I don't get to show the photos because somebody else does with their own photos, but there's always going to be a sample for a pattern. So I would never write a pattern without having a sample and photos to show for it. So I'm not sure if that's what you're asking me or not. And if you want to add to your question so that I can understand it to be able to answer you properly, I will. But I don't quite understand the question as it's been said so far. I got all those colors done. I showed all that. Let's see. We still have a bunch of beads left. There's so many beads. There's a ton of beads. So you just have to look at the colors that are on my website. I have 6mm fire polish beads. I have 4mm. I have a bunch of 4mm crystal chain or 4mm crystal beads. All kinds of beads left. The yarn ball beads are still in stock. Bunch of different beads. I've got all of the shawl pins. I have tons of shawl pins left. So I have them in 3 different colors and a bunch of different styles. So there's the rosewood, blonde wood, and ebony, and a bunch of different styles of these. They're also available for bulk discounts as well. They make absolutely great gifts. They make great coordinating gifts. If you're going to make somebody a shawl and you want to send it along with a shawl pin, that's a great idea. Or you want to just give them as gifts, they're great for gifts. Or get them for yourself too, but there's a bunch of those left. What else? Nail files, yarn needles, snag needles. Nail files. Everybody needs nail files. Stock up on them for yourself. Stock up on them for other people. A set of 2 yarn needles and that awesome yarn threader. And then a set of 2 snag needles. All of these are on sale. Yes, Marcia, everything's available. All right, what else do I have in here? Yeah. You know what I have that that's not listening? All the samplers. Remember the samplers of all my yarns? Boy, that was a lot of work. Those are worthless now. Okay. And then we have the knit stitch holders and we have the cable needles. Are the holes in the beads large enough for Be So? It depends on which bead you're talking about, because I would say that the 4mm crystal beads might be difficult for putting onto Be So baby yarn, but a lot of the other beads. Oh, all of my large hole pearl beads are still available. Those can go on any yarn, any of my yarns. The 6mm fire polish beads absolutely could go on Be So baby yarn. I would say the only ones that I wouldn't put on Be So baby would be the 4mm. I would use those on number 2 sport weight yarn or thinner. Yeah, there's information on how to use the snag tool on my website. If you just go to the links, most of the questions that people have asked today can all easily be answered on those pages. I don't have a snag to show you, but I can show you up close that the snag needles have a textured side here and a smooth side, and it's for getting whatever snag you have to the back side, to the wrong side of the fabric. So that's really great for store-bought items as well as handmade items. It's a great tool, and just like with any other small tool, you could use a few, right? That's why I sell it in a 2-pack to begin with. But just like with any tool, how many yarn needles do we have? How many tools do we have, right? You could have 50 yarn needles and at any given time want to find them, just like glasses, right? All right. Wow, we went over just going through all that. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to surprise you with the sample sale later today, because it'll take way too long to go through all this. As I list it, I will see, do I list them all at once? I could either list them individually, and then, or I could keep them all private, list them all at once. I think that's what I'll do. And then so the moment that they all go live, that's when I'll send out an email. So if you're on my mailing list, you'll be first to know when that's happening. And hopefully it'll be up before tomorrow. So tomorrow at the show, I will mention it again. Is my sample sale an auction? No, I'm just going to list them with regular prices. They'll be starting at $19 and going up to $99. All lower than the cost of yarn and the time it takes to make them, for sure. All right, great question though. Does anybody have any other questions? However, the samples will be only 1 per order, so they will sell out quickly for sure. All right. I don't know what the temperature is. I haven't even been outside today. You can look it up though. It's Naples. I'm sure it's available. I haven't been outside. Oh, before we go though, please remember to join me if you're available and interested. I'm going to be doing the tutorial video as a live premiere for the brand new Heartthrob knit shawl pattern. The pattern's available on my website right now, and the tutorial video will be live premiered here on YouTube at 11 o'clock today. So what time is it now? 9:40, so about an hour and 20 minutes from now. If you would like to join me, great. If you have questions for me, I will be in the live chat to answer them live if you want. Really wonderful pattern, and I think you're going to really enjoy the zen easiness of the shawl and then the challenge of learning something really cool and different for the edging. Oh, Judy, thank you so much for another reminder. One other thing I forgot to mention today, I have a new interview to share with you. So 2 people nominated Krista Patel of the Secret Yarnery, really wonderful crochet designer and teacher in Nairobi, Kenya, and I had the pleasure of getting to talk to her earlier this week, and that interview is going to be Friday's episode of the show. So it's already scheduled, episode 1013 of the Kristin Omdahl Show on Friday will be live premiered interview with Krista Patel of the Secret Yarnery, and there's a blog post on my website right now where you can see all her links and all the things that we'll be talking about in the interview. She's so nice and so interesting. I think you're going to really like that interview. And if you have other people you would like to nominate as your favorite makers for me to interview on my show, please always feel welcome to nominate more people as well. We've met some really amazing people doing this. You can go through there. I have a whole playlist of the previous interviews now, and I've created a category on my blog so that you can look up everybody that I've interviewed there as well. Some great, really great information. Really inspiring people, including I had a story to share about Martha today, but I will save it for tomorrow because we've gone over and it's really important, and I don't want it to just be a last second addition. So I'll create some time to talk about Martha again tomorrow. Anyway, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed all the show and tells, chatting about all the different colors and yarns, chatting with me and everyone else. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I will see you for the live premiere of the Heartthrob shawl in a little over an hour, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show.